third episode starts outside Jackson's walls. The bodies of the infected horde are still smoldering. Inside, a woman is preparing Joel's body for burial when Tommy enters the room and takes over. He lifts the sheet over the body to see Joel's face. The angle doesn't show us anything, and then gets to work cleaning his brother's body with a rag. He pauses when he sees the broken watch. "Give Sarah my love," Tommy whispers. As the camera pulls back, we see a lot more bodies laid out in the morgue. At the overrun hospital, Ellie comes back to consciousness, remembers what happened, and screams as she sobs. The staff sedates her. 3 months later, Jackson is rebuilding. Ellie is physically healed, but the hospital won't release her until she talks to Gail. "Yeah, I miss him. He meant a lot to me," the teen says. It's the truth, but she says it too quickly and easily, and Gail knows she's just repeating what's necessary in order to be discharged. Ellie says she didn't talk to Joel when she saw him on the porch after their New Year's fight. But she asserts that your final moment with someone doesn't define your whole relationship. She also pretends not to know what Joel meant when Gail mentions his "I saved her" comment from therapy. "Man, I wish I could have let him off the hook for whatever it was he was talking about," she says. Gail gives her some major side-eye, but authorizes her release anyway. At Joel and Ellie's house, mourners have left notes and flowers at the fence. The house feels so empty as Ellie roams around it. She takes his gun and puts it in her waistband, but is brought up short when she turns and sees his clothes hanging in his closet. She cries as she gently touches a sleeve, then cries harder as she buries her face in the cloth. Downstairs, Dina enters the house and calls for her. Ellie quickly stops her tears and dries her eyes. "Dina brought cookies as a peace offering because I'm about to make you angry." Though she visited Ellie a bunch of times during her convalescence, she lied about not being able to identify Joel's attackers. "I know most of their names, and I know where they're from," she admits. And Dina was right. Ellie is mad. "You cost us time. You let them get away," she says. But Dina reality checks her. A lot of other people died, and no one, including Ellie, was in any kind of shape to form a posse. Second, because she knows where Abby and Co. are heading, maybe let them get there first. She's near tears as she reminds Ellie, "I loved him too, you know." Ellie softens and takes a bite of a cookie, a sign of a truce. So, here's what Dina knows. In addition to Abby, there's Manny, Owen, Nora, and another woman, whom we know as Mel. One of them had a patch on their backpack that said WLF, which reminds Dina of a group Eugene once told her about, the Seattle-based Washington Liberation Front, a regional group fighting Fedra. Dina hasn't mentioned any of this to anyone else. So, she asks her friend, "Now what?" They share the intel with Tommy, who, surprisingly to Ellie, hesitates. She argues that, if the situation were reversed, Joel would be halfway to Seattle before the sun came up. He agrees that would be the case, if Tommy needed saving. But when we lost people, no, it would just break him like it was his fault. I saw that time and time again. He counsels Ellie to bring the matter to the town council, and he promises he'll back her. "Come here," he says, pulling Ellie to him in a hug. She obliges him, but after a moment puts her arm around him and squeezes back. Then he lets her know that they buried everyone 10 miles south out of town. "If you want to visit him." She nods. "When we're on our way to Seattle," she says. Somewhere else in the woods, a group of people are traveling on foot. All the men have shaved heads and all the women's hair is braided. They all wear clothing with a rudimentary fish symbol drawn on it and carry hammers. Everyone, even the children, have scars from where the corners of their mouths have been slit up into their cheeks. One of the men walks alongside his young daughter, who wonders why she can't just keep them safe. "The prophet? She's been dead 10 years, he says. He adds that the distance they're putting between themselves and war is going to keep her safer. Then, someone at the head of the group whistles an alarm that has everyone diving into the brush to take cover. "Demons," the little girl whispers as they hide. "Wolves," her father replies. On the day of the town meeting, the council and the rest of Jackson considers Ellie's request to send a 16-person team to take down Abby. One woman argues that we are too hurt and it is too soon. Another says that they need to have mercy to separate themselves from the raiders and murderers. a sentiment that angers Seth. "Grow up, you idiots," he roars as Ellie looks on, surprised but pleased. "They will come back. They'll come back because we didn't make them pay. And when they come back, they will be laughing, and you'll all deserve it, bunch of goddamn victims." Ellie is the last person to make her case. Per Jessie's advice, she wrote her thoughts down ahead of time, so she reads them to the crowd. She swears her motive is not revenge, but justice. "I am asking you, please, do it for us," she says, tears in her eyes. It's moving, but not enough to sway the council, which votes 8-3 against going. But does Ellie care? She does not. She's preparing to head out on her own when Dina knocks on the garage door later that night. "I'm just going to bed," Ellie calls out. "No, I don't think that is where you're going," her friend Riley notes. Once Ellie lets her in, Dina pokes quick and efficient holes in her plan to get Abby. No clear route, no medical supplies, etc. Thankfully, Dina has made a sound plan and enlisted the help of someone who can get them supplies. That guy turns out to be Seth, who even trades his gun for Ellie's before seeing the ladies on their way. At sunrise, Ellie stops at Joel's grave and puts some coffee beans on it before heading on her way. Dina and Ellie share a horse, Shimmer, as they continue towards Seattle. One night, they make camp under an outcropping just as rain starts to pour down. They're about to go to sleep when Dina brings up their kiss at the dance. Ellie quickly says it didn't mean anything, given how high Dina was at the time, but Dina wants her to rate it anyway. Ellie gives it a 6 out of 10. We learn that Dina and Jessie have already gotten back together, and things are a little awkward as Dina turns off the light. But then she adds, "Ellie, I wasn't that high," before she falls asleep. When they're on a trail about 10 miles outside of Seattle, the pair come across a dead member of the group we saw earlier. He's wearing the fish coat and has gunshots in his back. Dina investigates a little deeper into the trees, runs back, and then throws up. Ellie goes to see what made Dina so ill and finds the entire group we saw earlier dead and rotting, even the kids. Ellie immediately suspects Abby and her crew are behind the violence. As they approach the city, Dina and Ellie guess that there probably aren't that many members of the WLF, or Wolves. Otherwise, wouldn't people be shooting at them as they get closer to Seattle? But they don't know what we do. The Wolves are a highly militarized group with lookouts, tanks, and a large infantry that's marching through the city. Ellie and Dina are outnumbered in the extreme,